What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I want to take a look at an outstanding Philadelphia middleweight by the name of Georgie Benton. Now, Georgie Benton was a fascinating middleweight, turned out to be a great trainer as well. And the reason why I'm taking time out to do his profile right now is because I covered a fighter by the name of Ruben Hurricane Carter a little earlier. And Georgie Benton was an opponent of Ruben Hurricane Carter. And I wanted to make sure I can give you some visual on Georgie Benton. So I chose this photo, and this photo had the wrong last name. They had George Benson. His name is George Benton, as you can see here, B-E-N-T-O-N, and they had B-E-N-S-O-N. I believe that's what his last name was, what they had there. I got rid of that portion of his name. But, you know, my job, I have an obligation to make sure I get the facts correct, and I'm going to thank my sister Lala D for that correction. Brilliant observation. I didn't notice it at the time. Otherwise, I would have made sure that was taken care of. So right now, let's take a look at Georgie Benton. He fought outstanding fighters. He was in there with Ruben Hurricane Carter, went 10-round distance with him. He didn't get the victory. He got an L on that fight. And that's why it was so spectacular, because Georgie Benton was very respected in Philadelphia at that time. He was an up-and-coming. He was ranked #1 for several years, at least 3 years in the 50s. So salute to Georgie Benton. So let's take a look at the profile of Georgie Benton. Now, he was Philadelphia born. He was a native of Philadelphia. He was born May 15, 1933, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He began his professional debut in 1949. He was placed on a card on July 18th against Chico Weed in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and he knocked him out in 1 round. August 8th, he fought Whitman Dortch, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and he defeated him in 4 rounds. November 3rd, Dave Peters, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, knocked him out in 5 rounds. November 21st, Harold Ale, he defeated him in 6 rounds. So his first 4 fights in 1949, all victories, 2 KOs and 2 wins. 1950, he had 4 fights again. He lost 1. The one that he lost to was June 5th, 1950, Al Mobley, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He lost him in 6 rounds. But he did defeat Gene Landers on January 5th. This is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Defeated him in 6 rounds. February 2nd, Bucky Slocum, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Defeated him in 6 rounds. May 15th, Frank Gobas, New Haven, Connecticut. Knocked him out in 2 rounds. 1951, February 6th, A.O. Nagang, Trenton, New Jersey. Knocked him out in 2 rounds. And you can see here, all victories. Jimmy Moore, Van Butler, Buddy Newley, Chuck Golby, Jetson Arnold, all victories. 1952, all victories. Harley Mims, very good fighter. January 10th, he defeated Harley Mims in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Defeated him in 8 rounds. Bobby Rosado, New York, knocked him out in 4 rounds. March 21st, 1952. Moses Ward, another good fighter. March 26th, Chicago, knocked him out in 5 rounds. That's a fascinating victory over Moses Ward. June 5th, Jackie Burke, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, knocked him out in 6 rounds. Leroy Coleman and Charlie Joseph. Now, Charlie Joseph was a fascinating fighter. I have good profiles on him. December 23rd, 1952, Miami Beach, Florida. He defeated him in 10 rounds. Leroy Coleman, Trenton, New Jersey, knocked him out in 3 rounds on December 8th, 1952. 1953, he would face Bobby Lee. January 20th, Miami Beach, he would knock him out in 6 rounds. January 27th, Lester Felton, another good fighter, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, defeated him in 8 rounds. March 24th, Joe Blackwood, dynamic fighter, Miami Beach. He lost to him in 10 rounds. Joe Blackwood was from New Jersey. He was an unbelievable middleweight. He used to be a welterweight and moved up to the middleweight division. Dynamic fighter, awesome fighter, very underrated. July 23rd, Chuck Goldsby, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, defeated him in 8 rounds. Jimmy Franklin, August 13th, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, knocked him out in 6 rounds. Bobby Jones, December 28th, Brooklyn, defeated him in 10 rounds. So far, outstanding. 1954, April 27th, Cade Castrillo, Miami Beach, defeated him in 10 rounds. Double checking something here. May 14th, Leroy Coleman, New York, 8-round draw. So he had 2 fights in 1954. In 1955, he had 3 fights. Fascinating. All victories. 1956, he went to the U.S. Army. Reuben Hurricane Carter went in there as well. In fact, Carter was released in 1956. August 2nd, Henry Ray in Charlotte knocked him out in 2 rounds. He had 1 fight in 1956. 1957, he was inactive. 1958, he came back. Fought a familiar fighter in Archie Whitfield. April 16th, 1958. This was in Chicago. He knocked him out in 6 rounds. He had a 4-round knockout over Jimmy Robinson, June 12th, 1958. Then he fought Charlie Joseph twice, August 26th and November 17th, New Orleans. He defeated him in 10 rounds and lost to him in 10 rounds. 1959, February 16th, young Bo Jack, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, knocked him out in 1 round. That was Bo Jack's protege. May 18th, 1959, Bobby Boyd. I showed you Bobby Boyd once before in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He defeated him in 10 rounds. Fascinating. July 15th, Holly Mims, Miami Beach, Florida. He lost to him in 10 rounds. October 26th, Henry Hank, New Orleans, lost to him in 10 rounds. December 10th, Gene Washington, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, knocked him out in 10 rounds, 1959. 1960, 2 fights. October 18th, Freddie Little. He fought him in New Orleans and defeated him in 10 rounds. November 2nd, John McCormick, Glasgow, lost to him in 10 rounds. 1961, November 3rd, Chico Corsi, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He knocked him out in 3 rounds. Then, as you can see here, he had all victories over fighters such as Eddie Thompson, Joe Louis Affair, Rudolph Bent. Now, Rudolph Bent was Sugar Ray Robinson's last opponent. Ray Robinson had one more small fight after Rudolph Bent, but that was the last major fighter, up-and-coming fighter that he faced, was Rudolph Bent. That was April 12th. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He got knocked out in 2 rounds in 1962 over Georgie Benton. August 6th, Joey Giardello, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He defeated him in 10 rounds. Fascinating win. Joey Giardello would be middleweight champion of the world. He would face Alan Harron. November 19th, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He would knock him out in 9 rounds. He's fought Jesse Smith as well. May 28th, Philadelphia, and he defeated him in 10 rounds. See, so that goes to show you, George Benton knew what he was doing in there. He was an outstanding middleweight. He didn't get an opportunity to face for the title. He was ranked number 1 for about 3 years. So I got to salute Georgie Benton. Like I said, he was training a year, as far as I'm concerned, with some of the greatest fighters of all times, or in modern times, if you will, Pernell Whitaker, Mildred Taylor, and Evander Holyfield. Now, he did train fighters such as Terrell Bates. Terrell Bates didn't get a title. He did train Johnny Bump City Bumpus, who did get a title. He did train Rocky Lockridge, who got a title. He was in there with several other fighters. So salute to Georgie Benton. Great fighter. I always wanted to do a profile on him, but unfortunately I had to do it in a time when I had to make a correction of the spelling of his last name. Salute to my subscribers. Salute to Lala D. Salute to Georgie Benton. I got to put Georgie Benton as a member in the Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. He was a dynamite fighter, dynamite trainer. This is Scrapbook Boxing. All great fighters are never forgotten on my channel. Salute.